crazy. That accident happened 6 days before my first son was born. I remember holding him and I'm like, what do I know how to do? Like, really? I know how to build things with my hands. I never forgot the conversation you told me in that truck. Ran with it. That's what he told me.
It seems like so far it's kind of worked out as your fallback was your main the whole time and you didn't even know it.
Dirty hands, clean money.
Mm-hmm.
So I come from a culture and a history where some of my family members acquired money, illegal means. I come home and I lay my head down at night and I know I did a good job. And I provided a necessary service for people, and it's necessary in our city. We do it the right way.
Yeah.
And it's so fulfilling. And I sleep good at night, bro.
Welcome to Trades Ready, a podcast dedicated to helping you get ready for the trades with Quality Training Center, your trade school in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of Trades Ready. Here I am Aaron Clark, Academic Director of Quality Training Center. So excited to have you guys back to talk to yet another student of ours. We have a previous student, a graduate this time. This is Gabriel Madrid. And not only is he one of our alumni, but he is also the owner-operator of Lighthouse Heating and Cooling. So thank you so much for joining me today, taking time out of your busy schedule. We're getting into May right now, so I know what your summer's about to look like, which is a good problem to have.
Exactly.
Lots of stuff going on for you guys, so that's really exciting. As alumni of our school and a business owner, I feel like it was really important to get someone in your shoes in here to give that extra perspective of what can really happen for these guys. Some of them might go be career tradesmen and technicians, and they're just master fixers. That's great. Mm-hmm. And then some people like you, they're going to want a slice of the pie.
Absolutely. So
they can make their own shots, pay their own bills their own way, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. You graduated high school. Mm-hmm. What was your career focus out of high school? Where'd you think you were going to go?
Right out of high school, honestly, man, I wanted to join the military. I was interested in joining the Air Force or the Navy. At the time, I also had a construction job. I was always a blue-collar worker. I had a buddy who joined the Army, and he was immediately sent to Iraq, and he was in Afghanistan. This was 2008, 2009. We were at the peak of our war during that time, still in Iraq, still in Afghanistan. And I remember he called me after being in deployment, and he told me, he said, listen, bro, you do not want to be here. If you join the military, join Air Force or join the Navy. So that was something I was diving into, I was looking into. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. As a blue-collar worker, I just kept working and working. I decided to go to college instead. I enrolled into CSN, which is College of Southern Nevada. I'm not sure if it's still called that. Still to this day, I assume it is, right?
Yeah, CSN still CSN.
Yep. Well, back then I think it was CCSN, Community College of Southern Nevada. I think they just changed it or something. But anyways, I ended up getting my associate's degree in there. I was there for about 3-4 years, kind of prolonged to get my degree, always still being a blue-collar worker. And then I transferred to Nevada State, and I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I was trying to get into law enforcement, probation, parole, corrections, policing. Unfortunately, after many applications and trying to get into that career field, it just didn't work out. So I just kept being a blue-collar worker.
Nice. So you were another way to use this industry. Get out there, start making good money, doing some honest work, hard work.
Absolutely.
Blue collar is all about hard work, of course. And you were using that paycheck to fund the white collar approach to getting into a career. So that's very interesting. You went a completely different route before apparently it wasn't for you. Yeah. You got the degree though.
I do. I have the degree, and it's funny that you say that because I remember I had an instructor in my English 101 class. I was up there, I was doing some type of book report. I can't remember what it was. And he asked me, he said, what do you do for a living? And I said, I'm a steel worker. He said, so you're a union? You're a blue collar worker? I said, yeah. And this is what he said. I'll never forget this. He said, why are you in college? Just straight up blunt like that. And I was like, well, I want to get a degree. I want to get a bachelor's degree. I was always enforced and told it's good to get an education, go to college, go to college. It was just pushed on me all the way from grade school.
And it has been for a lot of people for decades.
Exactly. The good thing is, though, like you said, I was able to acquire, good work, good pay, and I went through college debt-free. I never took out a loan. I utilized many grants and scholarships, that were, of course, applicable to me in my arena, in a sense. But, yeah, I went to college completely debt-free. Unlike most of my peers, 80% of them have acquired 40, 50, 60, 70, even up to $120,000 of college debt.
Damn.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are not even in their field of study.
Yeah, kind of like you.
Exactly.
You got a field of study. It might help you down the road as a business owner. Saying you've got a degree that can change some things for you. So
Absolutely.
I would hate to say anybody's time is wasted in education.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe in the way college approaches things.
Yep.
But at the same time, it can be a means to an end.
Yeah.
Even from my experience, most people don't use that degree for what they wanted to use it for, but it still becomes sometimes a prerequisite for certain job positions, so it can still cash in later.
Absolutely.
Cool. That's awesome. Using blue collar to fuel another project. This doesn't have to be a forever home. Whether you're going to end here or start here, the possibilities are literally whatever you want to do with it if you're going to take the ball and drive that career your way. And then for you, it seems like so far it's kind of worked out as your fallback was your main the whole time, and you didn't even know it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. So you graduated from Nevada State.
Yeah, NSC.
And then what did you do after graduation? You were just strong driving that career, trying to make it happen?
Yeah, I was still a blue-collar worker. Always worked on my hands. I worked in construction primarily for 4 years, from the age of 16 all the way to 20.
Oh, and then early.
Yeah, I started really early. Even when I was in high school, I always had a full-time job.
I
actually graduated early my senior year. Yeah, literally
beautiful
October.
Thing about blue collar right there is you can start as early as you want as long as someone will teach you.
Exactly. So I actually graduated early my senior year. I had just turned 17, and I graduated the very next month in October. I just tested out. I had 3 credits that I needed. And I said, I'm done with school. Let me get into the blue-collar work field. Started making a lot of money. Now, this was post, or middle of recession era. This was 2007.
Okay.
So a lot of people were out of work. A lot of people were struggling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my parents were personally struggling. So that's why I kind of had to step up and get a job, honestly, man, to help them out in a sense. And I was. It felt good being a young man, being a teenager, being able to help out my mom and dad and throw them, $600, $700, $800 a month. And I'm just like, pay the bills, go buy us food.
Man, I think that speaks volumes for your character, dude.
Absolutely.
Not everybody has the drive to get that done. Not everybody would even try in the first place. But then to be making your own honest money and giving it to the good cause, your family to support. I mean, that's kudos on you, man. That is fantastic.
I want to share a little story. One time, we actually started getting some pests, like a lot of ants and these German, and I hate roaches. We started getting German cockroaches. I don't know where the hell they came from. But anyways, I remember seeing them in my dishwasher, and I was like, I do not want to live like this. And I told my mom, I gave her $400. I said, I don't care. You call anybody. You need to take care of it. And I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I could have done that with my blue-collar job. And I was like, Mom, just take care of it. I don't care what it costs. Just take care of it.
Keep the change, Mom.
Exactly.
Keep the change.
She called whoever it was. They came out. They did their traps. They went around the whole house. They bombed whatever. And they were gone. And I never forgot that. I'm like, it's amazing what you can do with hard-earned money.
No, that's such a huge accomplishment at 17 to be able to change your family's life. You know, a lot of different people deal with a lot of those issues in many different facets. Yeah. And for you as a young almost man, right? Because if you're not 18, man, they don't consider you a man or whatever. But as a young adult, and you're, hey, Mom, take my money. Let's help the family.
Exactly. Take care of it.
Oh, that's fantastic,
take care of it,
dude. Good on you. I didn't know that part.
Well, yeah, man.
That's great. That's fantastic. So we went out with our degree.
Yeah.
And is there a certain business or aspect? Because you said criminal justice.
Correct. Yeah, I was trying to get into law enforcement. So I did quite a few ride-alongs with Henderson Police, Metro. That's what actually sparked my interest. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be in the field, and after many applications, unfortunately, I mean, don't get me wrong, I did great in the hiring process. I got ranked very high, like 17 out of 800 applicants. And when it came, man, it was really good. Did really good on my oral board, my background, the testing, the physical exam.
Quick interruption.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say that this speaks loudly because a lot of blue-collar guys get that knuckle dragger effect. Like, people look at us and they're just like, you're in the trades for a reason.
Yeah.
And this guy proves right now that it's not a lack of intellect.
It's not.
It's not a lack of capability. You're in the blue collar, but you are obviously an intellectual. You're obviously a smart individual. You've got your degree. You've had all these opportunities, and it seems like you've handled them smartly. Yeah. So I just want to quick interrupter. We're not all knuckle draggers. Like, I don't know why we get that. I know there's some people, and they're just like, Like, yeah, there's definitely some of those guys out there, but it is not all of us for sure. So,
Exactly, man.
back to your story.
It's like a hybrid. I'm a hybrid, bro. So
that's the best way to do it, honestly.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I applied with probation and parole. I even attempted to do corrections, and then I finally got a letter stating that I was surprised I was disqualified indefinitely from Metro just because of family history and background and stuff like that, relations to just stuff in the past, my culture, upbringing, and stuff
not
like that.
You,
exactly, not me, but my association, family ties and association and stuff like that. So I didn't realize that was going to affect me. Even though I put in all that work, I'm
the golden goose. Don't worry about what cloth I was cut from.
I'm a black sheep.
I'm my own rag right now.
Exactly, I'm a black sheep.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no issues. When it came to that, I didn't really take it to offense. I was just it actually pushed me to work a lot harder, and in a sense, just kind of I had like a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, man, this is unfortunate because I can't imagine all the people who actually put in that work to get that degree or that education, and then at the end of the day, you're just disqualified.
Yeah, because no one's telling you guys, if you sign up for this, let's talk about your family tree for a minute and your family's history, and then let's roll it out early. Like, how do you find somebody? You got to find like a Metro guy that. Do they have this situation? Do they even know about it, or are they just completely ignorant because it didn't affect me, so I didn't know that was a thing? A lot of people are that way. So what a rough travel to spend that much. And luckily, you had no debt.
No debt.
That's
Zero debt.
That's like the saving grace here. A little bittersweet, but at the same time, the degree can cash out for you, and you don't have to pay back because it's already paid off.
Exactly.
Even though they're like, hey, we're bricking this door. You can't use this door. I'm sorry. So, oh man, but you pushed through it. So
absolutely, man, absolutely pushed through. And then I was still I was a steel worker at the time. I was still union. It was a job where I got very comfortable. I was very comfortable. It was 12-hour shifts. I was working 6 hours out of the 12-hour shifts. The rest of the time I was in the break room on the phone, just wasted a lot of time. There was no drive after that, no real ambition. And then I got caught in a place where I was involved in a workplace accident. And unfortunately, I thought nobody would get fired from there. And the entire time I was there, there was maybe one, and we were union, mind you. So we had the arbitration process. We had a lot of rules that protected us and things like that.
Yeah, hard to get you guys fired.
Exactly. And unfortunately, I was involved in a workplace accident where it fell on me, and they actually let me go because of that. And I was shocked. I was like, man, I thought we were invincible, and I had a good job.
I got hurt and you said bye?
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa, what a twist.
Yeah.
A couple twists in your path here. Oh, wow.
Exactly. And it's crazy that accident happened 6 days before my first son was born. This was February of 2018. And I remember sitting at home that weekend, and I was like, I think they're going to let me go. Mind you, we have to go through a whole arbitration process, right?
A lot of paperwork.
Exactly. And this whole thing, they pretty much, they called me, HR manager called me from the place, and she said, we don't want you returning on site. We're letting you know right now, you're not fired. You just can't come back to work. You're being paid, but you're not coming back to work.
Kind of a suspension for
exactly,
a while.
In a sense, you're suspended.
Paid suspension.
And I was paid. The union protected us in that. So I'm like, cool, I'm getting a little pay. And I remember sitting there. My son was born the next week, and I remember holding him, and I'm like, what do I know how to do? Like, really? I know how to build things with my hands, right? I know how to construct playgrounds.
Blue collars in your blood.
Exactly,
you knew that.
Right? I knew all that, but it was like, and the facility where I worked at, what I did was I operated an overhead crane. So I'm like, I can't just operate an overhead crane anywhere in Las Vegas. Like,
it's very niche.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have one of the warehouses that actually uses
a 30-ton overhead, 50-ton overhead crane.
Yeah, big boy stuff.
Exactly. Industrial heavy load stuff, and I'm just like, if I don't get my job back, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm holding my son right now. I remember telling myself that. And short story. Anyways, I had this great feeling where I knew I wasn't gonna go back. Mind you, arbitration played out for a whole year. Like, we didn't have the arbitration until the very next year of 2019. So in the meantime, what I did was I reached out to this place. It's called ResCare One-Stop Career Center. I immediately went over there, probably about 2 weeks after my son was born, and I said, hey, this is what I have. This is what I'm dealing with. I'm currently, in a sense, being unemployed right now. You can confirm it with my employer. I'm suspended, but I'm being paid. What can you guys do for me to enhance my career or change my career? Mind you, I'm 28 at the time.
Okay. And this is One-Stop, one of the agencies.
Yes, it's a government-funded agency.
Oh, glad you bring that up, because you guys, this is an option for a lot of different people. And here's another previous student that's used that program. To go through the class. Everything was paid for, books, tools, tuition.
Scholarship.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, guys.
They were giving me a gas card. They funded $500 to start my toolkit. So mind you, this is a government-funded agency. This is why we pay our tax dollars here in America. Like, this is the land of opportunity.
Tax dollars for benefits for taxpayers.
Exactly. You know, and take full advantage of that. We have those resources out here, you know, as Americans, and we're entitled to them as long as we're doing and playing the system right. And the program right.
You gotta play the game.
Exactly. If you play the game right, you will win. But anyways, I go down to this place, and they put me through hoops, literally, for like 3 weeks. They're like, go here, go this, take this test, do this. They do this for a reason. They want to make sure that you're a person that they're willing to invest in, right?
Someone that's going to take it seriously.
Exactly.
I can't pay all this money for you to just blow off class. That's wasting taxpayers' dollars.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I knew what they were doing. They were putting me through the hoops. They were testing me. And then about a month later, they assigned me what's called a career coach. So this lady, I sat down with her, and she's like, what are you interested in? And I said, I want to be a blue-collar worker. I want to learn an official trade. Like, I want to learn a trade. And luckily, my brother was already in the HVAC trade. He was already in for about 18 months.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Exactly. I was like, bro, I remember calling him, and I was like, bro, do you like what you're doing? He's like, yeah, it's good. I'm figuring it out. You know, I'm still learning. Every day's learning curve. And has to be. Absolutely. So I call him. I was like, hey, man, can I do like a ride-along? Ask your employer if I can do a ride-along with you.
You've been doing a lot of ride-alongs.
Right? Exactly. I was like, I want to know what you do. I want to see firsthand what you do. And he's like, cool. So his employer agreed. I signed up, you know, and I did a whole ride-along with him for an entire week, 5 days straight. And I remember just watching him do everything, getting on the roofs. I didn't get on any roofs, of course, you know what I'm saying, liability reasons and stuff like that.
Insurance. We just can't let you.
Exactly. So I was cool with that. And I'm just watching my brother work, and I'm just, like, blown away. I'm like, my brother is amazing. Like he's figuring this stuff out. I can do this. My brother's smart. I'm smart. We can figure this out.
That's good motivation.
Absolutely.
Same for you guys.
Yeah.
If they can do it, you can too. So this should motivate you guys just the same.
Exactly. So I go back to the career coach, and I sit down with her, and I tell her, I said, I want to learn HVAC. And this is what she says. I'll never forget this. She says, you want to learn HVAC? And she like got serious. She's like,
uh-oh.
Right? She looks at me. She's like, are you afraid of heights? And I said, no. She said, are you afraid to work 16 to 20 hours a day? And I said, no. And she said, are you afraid of bugs? And I said, no. Bro, those 3 questions. That was it. Just like that. Serious, like this.
That's a solid 3 questions to ask somebody.
Absolutely.
All of this is most likely going to be part of your career.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you get away with it.
Long hours, bugs, right?
All part of the program.
Mind you, she's in a full suit. She's never been in the field a day in her life.
Sounds like she knows a thing or two,
But she does. She did, apparently, right? Because I'm like, I had to think for a second. I'm like, heights? I can deal with heights.
Cool.
Long work? I can deal with that.
Bugs? As long as the money's right,
exactly.
I'll be here.
As long as the money's right, bro, right? I'm like, I can deal with that. The bugs? I don't like bugs. I don't like roaches. I don't like spiders. But you know what? I'll slap them down if I have to.
There you go. Know? Swat them out, collect the paycheck. I can definitely live that way.
Exactly. So she looks at me and she's like, all right, well, let's get started. And I was like, just like that. She's like, I'm going to sign you up right now. We're going to look for a school for you. And let me know what you need. You have my full support. I see the type of man that you want to be. I see you want a career change in your life. And these are my options for you, right? So she came back with a few options. And then quality, of course, caught my attention. I remember doing a tour with Lonnie. Actually, this was 2018.
Yeah, back when he was still doing tours.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
It's very unique for the director, the owner of the school, to actually come out and do some of this entry-level footwork. So that's really cool. You got the man himself to give you a tour. That's awesome.
Exactly. And then he had this young Hispanic lady that was working for him. She was very nice. I forget her name, but she was phenomenal. Very nice lady. And I was like, this place is really nice. I like this place. So I told my career coach, hey, quality is where I want to go. Quality, technical. And I actually met Pete. that day too as well during the tour.
And
Shook
he
his
turned out
hand.
to be your instructor.
Yeah, and I believe I met another gentleman named Mario, if I'm not mistaken. Is it
Alvarez.
Yeah, is it Mario?
Yeah, he still does our evening
Does he?
classes. He's actually a chief engineer over Durango Station right now.
Yeah,
So he's moved up in the career as he's
Absolutely.
been teaching for
Yeah.
6 years. He probably got hired on a little before you came to the the school, and he's been there ever since.
I remember shaking his hand, and don't get me wrong, is he the Spanish instructor? Is he this?
He's bilingual.
Bilingual, yeah.
But we had Armando back then too.
That's
and
right,
he
Armando.
was 100% Spanish only.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we couldn't keep those classes filled.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to go another direction with him. But we actually got some feedback from him recently of a new hire that actually worked with Armando.
Wow.
And Armando, he just juiced us up. He had so many good things to say, and I was just like, oh, that's fantastic, because I knew there's a little bit of like, no one's happy to be let go.
Yeah.
No one. And so, especially if you're passionate about teaching, and Armando was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. He did HVAC, he did refrigeration, and he did a Spanish EPA class.
Wow.
So he was just a phenomenal resource for us at the time, but unfortunately, it's really tough to fill Spanish only classes consistently. So but that's a good thing to shout out for Mario. So if anybody needs that bilingual aspect, because I know words don't always translate well, then definitely let's focus on a Mario class, an evening class, 5:30 to 9:30. That way that individual can change languages and get some understanding. And then, it's always taught in English, that's the focus, but having that supplemental can really help someone get started, especially if that language barrier doesn't have to be in the way. I've worked with several people that I couldn't communicate with because they spoke Spanish and I spoke English, but there's translators. There's different ways to communicate to get that stuff across. So don't let that stuff slow you down.
Absolutely. No excuses. No excuses.
No, don't do that. Life's going to slow you down enough. Don't slow yourself down for sure.
Exactly.
So you came in, looked at a bunch of schools, quality caught your eye. You came in and did a tour. The director himself was giving tours at the time. Well, we only had 3 admin back then.
Yeah.
So everybody had to do everything for a while.
Exactly.
So you came in, you saw the facility, saw all the hands-on equipment you're going to be working on.
Yeah.
And you're just sold.
Yeah, at the time, the back building was just some, now that I know what it looks like in the field, they were old units from like the 1970s, 1980s, old style BDPs, if not ghetto, like old ghetto units. But then,
one of the first things I did when I got hired on was scrap those units and bring in
the
more.
old ones?
Yeah. So I was so glad to see them go because they did great to learn on, but we had to move on with newer equipment. So.
Yeah, you have to. The industry's always evolving. It's always leveling up. Right now we're going through a refrigerant phase out, and new A2L. Exactly,
yes,
bro.
Sir.
So the industry is always evolving. And the last time I went to your guys' back room was probably about 2 years ago, and you guys definitely have advanced since when I first started. Mind you, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
And then you came in a couple of weeks ago, and that's where we linked up. And I know I'd met you several times through the years, but never in an official setting. Yeah. You're talking to the boss.
Yep.
Had nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, if it's my problem, my business, then the boss will bring me in on it. So I definitely saw you several times.
Yeah.
So you went through, you graduated the program, and then you kicked out to get your first job.
Yeah.
Where did you land first?
The first opportunity I had, luckily, was with my brother's company. So my brother was working for a small mom and pop company called Ultra Heating and Cooling.
Okay.
The owner was actually an official graduate of Quality Technical himself.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
More of our family.
Exactly. It's funny because I see his company name and his name as a qualified technician through Quality still to this day in the school halls. So it's like, man, I worked for this guy. And
same wall you're on now.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
You popped up on that alumni wall.
Yeah.
Bragging about your business and your success, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I got my start with him. First thing he said was, "Do you have your EPA license?" And I said, "Yeah, I got it." He's like, "Show it to me," and I showed it to him. And he's like, "Cool, you're gonna ride with us. You're gonna learn this summer." I want to say I officially graduated in August of 2018. I think I did the 16-week course during the day, 9 to 12, with Pete. And mind you, during that time while I was in school, I was also doing still ride-alongs with them in the summer. I would meet up with my brother. and then I would watch him diagnose between the hours of 1 to like 7, 8, 9 p.m.
Full immersion.
Exactly.
Which honestly is the best way to launch a career.
Yeah.
So the more you tell your story, the more it's obvious that this is where you should be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and mind you, the entire time I'm telling Pete, you know, hey, man, I'm not only going to school, I'm coming here between the hours, I want to say it was like 8 to 12 or 9 to 12. But I'm also
9 to 12 back then.
Yeah, I was also doing ride-alongs with a service technician, right? That was also progressing and learning, and everything he was learning, I was learning. Because not only am I in school hitting the books and reading, getting a basic understanding of how these systems work and operate, I'm also seeing hands-on. Even though I'm not doing hands-on, I'm watching a technician do hands-on, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing him diagnose, sit there, you know, take temperature readings, subcool, superheat, checking capacitors.
So you're doing the hands-on in the classroom, and then you get out of class and immediately go to the field to see how that translates into what you're actually going to be using it for.
Yeah, and then at the same time too, I mean, the company I was with, they were selling units left and right, so we were doing anywhere between like 4 to 6 installs a week. So I was watching how these units lined up, you know, the low voltage wiring, the rerouting of the copper line set, the PVC, the gas, the flue pipe. So like I'm watching all this come back together. The old units come out, the new units come in, you know, making sure and seeing how that's all properly done according to, you know, his requirements as a business owner operator. So I got to see it all, man, from the get-go. So
dove right into those attics.
Exactly.
Started playing with some Pookie and some ductwork.
Exactly, bro. I remember the first time. You see how I don't have Pookie on me? Like I'm clean. At least I look clean, right?
You look sharp.
Right. And mind you, I spent 5 hours at an industrial plant this morning, but I've learned how to keep myself clean. I remember the first time I did an install, and they're like, "Hey, put this Pookie. It's called Pookie, right? Duct sealant." On these ducts around, and it was all over my arm here, it was all over my shirt, just everywhere.
And that stuff hardens like concrete.
It does.
So you've ruined that shirt 9
gone.
times out of 10.
Exactly.
You've got to find a way to work a little cleaner.
Exactly. So I'm just, you know, as a green, we call it being green, right? In our industry, I was super green. I didn't even know how to use a hand drill. Like this drill right here, it's like, it's always right here in my pocket. It's clipped, and now it's just second nature. But I remember the first time, my brother's like, come on, drill that in, you know, put the evap coil, hang it up, you know, mount it into the furnace. And he had the bracket on there. He's holding it. I'm struggling, dude, to get this nail.
And he's over there, hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up,
this
bro.
I'm
holding it. He's like, what the hell's the problem?
All
hurry
awkward
up.
on trusses.
Exactly.
Got that weird angle.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, knock it out.
Exactly. Come on, what's the hold up? You know, he's over there being drill sergeant and stuff.
Of course.
And,
come on, new guy.
yeah. He's like, bro, what's holding you up? And I literally dropped like 3 different screws. And I felt
gone in the insulation.
Gone,
Don't
bro.
waste your time.
Exactly.
Unless
New
you got a
screws on
magnet,
top.
just move off.
Exactly. New screws off the top of and that's why he always used to dump them on top of the furnace, just so, you know, because he knew how green I was. He's like, come on, bro.
They're within reach. Just grab the next one.
Just grab the next one. Exactly. So I remember that day, I could tell he was like frustrated with me, and I'm just like, man, I'm holding my brother up. You know, I felt bad. So I remember going home and I was practicing with the drill, how to drill screws into sheet metal. I had a piece of sheet metal, and I'm like, I'm gonna conquer this. You know what I'm saying?
Takes a little finesse. You got to keep it straight, constant pressure. Don't go too high on the spin and cook the wood or anything like that.
Yep. Strip it out. You know.
Oh,
so
the worst.
I remember going home and I was just practicing. I was doing everything, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get. And I did. It literally took like an hour just to master it. I'm like, I got it down. My brother's not gonna give me crap no more for.
Never again will that be my problem.
Exactly.
And that's just a huge career move that. During school, after school, out in the field, you struggled. You could have went home and turned on PlayStation, Xbox, cracked open a beer, and said, "I don't even want to think about it." But that's not how you get where you're at.
Yeah.
So you went home, you did extra research, you did extra hands-on that you did yourself. Probably went out and bought your own equipment, your own materials.
I did.
I refused to lose, right?
Exactly.
I would bet money that the next time you had that issue, it took a fraction of the time because of what you did. So, man, that's fantastic.
No, I would agree, man. Yeah. So, just being in the industry early on, you know, being an install helper, being a helper in general, you know, helping the service technicians. Not only did I work with my brother, I worked with another senior technician who had been in the industry for 20 years. His name, he's a guru, bro. He's
one of those old heads.
Yeah, I'm gonna say his name, and I gotta give him a shout out. His name is Richard French.
Okay.
Richard French, and I would say everybody in our industry, in our small industry, residential, knows who he is. He's a phenomenal guy. He was a great teacher. He's a great coach. He was in the Navy.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, he was on a
Shout
submarine.
out to another squid and a great mentor for the trades.
Exactly.
All right.
This guy, he was on a nuclear submarine. He told me what the true definition what hot cotting meant. You know,
yeah, he's one of those sunless guys.
Yeah, he's just
I don't know how they do
hard cats.
For sure.
Yeah, and I got a story to tell about French. I
let's
remember,
do it.
Yeah, we were doing a little did I know, the pumpkin compressors out of the trains, right? These things weigh 80, 90 pounds. They're solid.
Yeah.
This guy, we're on a one-story roof, and he's deep into this condenser on a package unit. Like, I don't even see him anymore. He's just tucked away in it.
Feet in the air.
That's it, bro. And I'm just like, bro, where did he go? Like, this guy's nuts. Like, and mind you, he's an older cat. He's got lots of experience. And he just sweats that thing out. He pulls it out one arm, mind you, and he's like my size. He's like 5'7".
One arm?
One arm, bro.
What a stud.
Yeah, bro.
that's tough.
Yeah, dude.
I don't care how tough you are.
Tough ass dude, bro.
Oh my gosh, that's heavy.
Yeah, so he pulls this, and I remember watching him, and he just, mind you, he's wearing cowboy boots the whole time. Like not even like the new safety gear cowboy boots. I'm talking like the flat tread. Right, and we're on a roof with shingles.
He's worn those boots for most of his life,
bro,
and he's not about to change.
Bro, and they're the high tops, like that come up to the knees, And I'm just like,
super long,
bro. And he one hand literally just swings around, gets on the ladder, and just walks it down like nothing. And I never forgot that. I was like,
that's tough.
I want to be like that guy. I want to be like this guy.
No, that's good goals right there.
Absolutely. And he just made it look so easy, and I'm just like,
and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Not at all.
And I've done quite a few of those. They're not easy.
Even with a simple, 60 to 70 pound scroll, that's a nightmare, let alone a pumpkin.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. We sub out cranes now just due to, compressors falling off of roofs accidentally.
You got to be safe, man.
Exactly. So now it's our company policy. We actually sub out cranes anytime we have a compressor on a roof. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's absolutely needed, we'll haul it down. But just to be that guy is the way I was trained, man. You just haul it down. Haul it up.
But a lot of an older school approach, and a lot of those older guys ended up regretting working like that sometimes. You got bad shoulders, your knees, your back, all of that. Mistakes on the ladder. 3 points of contact is hard when you need two hands on a compressor all of a sudden, and or you got that half-inch rope and you're on the side of it and you're trying to feed it down now, and you're just murdering your shoulders instead of your knees all of a sudden.
Burning your hands, let go.
Yeah, so if you can use a crane, every time, if you get the chance, just do it.
Yeah, 99% of the time we're using the crane now. But I just had to share that story, man. That's old school tactics. That's old school training.
I love it. And these guys get to hear a little bit of something that they might not get the opportunity to see as those older guys are phasing out.
Yeah.
Opening the door for the younger guys like us to get out there and do our thing. It's my turn. I saw you.
Exactly.
I'm going to do it the same but better.
Exactly. Yeah, and I remember the first time I did a compressor with him, he had his micron gauge hooked up to his vacuum pump, right? It was just the way he did it. And I remember trying to disengage his micron gauge from his vacuum pump, and he chewed me out like a drill sergeant. And I was just like, whoa, I'm sorry, bro. I won't touch your stuff. I was so scared,
So particular.
Yeah, I'm just like.
That hasn't moved in 6 years.
Exactly.
Get your hands off of it.
Exactly. Pretty much in a sense. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, don't remove that.
Yeah. Other things, sure, but not this one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, this guy. And mind you, the whole time, he was always a coach and a teacher in a sense, somebody I looked up to. So shout out to Richard French. Another gentleman, too, I rode with who was actually the owner of the company, Pilot Partida, man, just business-minded guy. Just seeing him close deals with customers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our philosophy and the way I was trained was we always repair before we replace. Replacing is the last option. Unless the customer, we give them options, of course. And if they want to replace, then that's entirely up to them. But
that's the best way to do it, morally.
Absolutely. Just being honest, being straightforward with every customer.
For sure.
Hey, we can still fix this. It's up to you, though. It's a 20, 25, 30-year-old unit. It's inefficient. It's not running and operating like these newer systems, in a sense. So that's just the way we were trained in a sense, and just being honest and straightforward with every customer. I learned that from him, and I've seen the guy literally close deals within like 3 minutes, just telling the customer their options and just being confident, literally with hands like this, talking to the customer. They're like, when can you get it done? And that's great too. I learned every spectrum from the trade, whether it's coming in as a maintenance technician, coming in as an install helper, coming in as a full-time service technician, coming in as a closer. Like, I got to see every arena and every aspect of this trade that we operate in. So, yeah, I learned a lot from these guys.
So you started at your brother's company, and then Richard French, same company, or that was the next one?
He was with that company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you got a package deal with that one.
Yeah, man. We were with him for about a year, and then he moved on to another facility, and he was there for some time. And then I ended up staying at that company for about 4 years. I was there consistently, and I learned, I grew. I was very content. I was always one thing I can say, I did see people get a little disgruntled over time, right? They get a little bitter. And I always told myself, I don't want to be like that. I always want to be content. I always want to be happy. If something's not right, I can address it. I can make it known. I had always open communication, in a sense, with my employer.
Oh, great.
So
great.
Yeah.
The communication. I feel like every podcast this pops up as a subject.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's because that is such a crucial fact. You can do the job, but if you can't communicate, you're hindering yourself a lot there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you touched on that.
Absolutely. I would say, if you're the type of person who's hard-headed and you can't really listen to anybody, you're not going to go anywhere in this trade, honestly.
You got to be coachable. You got to be able to learn. And, well, this is how we used to do it, but you're not there anymore.
Yeah,
and this is how we're doing it now. So just learn with the change.
Yeah.
Adapt with the change, move on with the change. Don't get left behind.
Exactly. And our industry is always adapting. It's funny that you say that, because I had a young kid, who was potentially somebody that we were going to bring on. And now I'm talking about our business.
Okay.
And he kept saying, I know. And I'm just like, no, you don't know. You don't know, man. I'm sorry. Like,
replace I know with okay, please.
Okay. Tell me more. Teach me more.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you don't know. That's why I'm telling you. And at the end of the day, I said, listen, bro, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to waste my time. You're going to waste your time. You're not teachable. And unfortunately, I like you as a person. I love you as a guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew his grandma. That was the thing, right? And I'm just like, you got to be coachable. You got to be teachable. He's not ready, in a sense. So I say that you have to come into this industry with an open mind and forget everything that you know, except for what you're learning at school, or you're learning from the people, the elders who are teaching you in the classroom, in the industry, who have been doing this 20, 30, 40 years. And listen, having an ear to listen to these people.
Two ears, one mouth, man.
Exactly. And I remember the entire time my brother was teaching me, French was teaching me, Pilot was teaching me, I would just be quiet and listen. And I would watch them. Not only would they teach me vocally, but I would watch them physically, what they were doing, how they were moving, how they were reading the diagnostics, or the wiring diagram, or just, taking simple diagnostics, So I got to see all of that. And I stayed quiet the entire time, just watching, my hands on my knees, just watching.
Sounds like it was your learning style, too, though.
Exactly.
This is where you're going to flourish anyway,
Yeah.
so thanks for putting me in this environment.
Absolutely. And I loved it. I enjoyed it, because it wasn't the same thing, different day. It was different, going house to house to house to commercial.
Never know what the call is going to actually entail until you showed up and talked to the unit. Otherwise,
exactly.
All 5 people said the same thing today, and all 5 were completely different problems.
Yep. Exactly. That's the good thing about our industry. It's always different. You never know what to expect. You show up at this new residence. You're dealing with a different customer. You're communicating with this customer differently. Trying to meet their expectations, trying to meet their needs. So it's always something different. Always. That's what I do like about this industry. You could be working on a 2-story package unit, and next thing you know, you're working on a ground condenser, and then you're on an industrial mill, and you're working on a side-mounted barred unit. So it's always something different elements, different arena. So yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so exciting.
Yeah,
it's so exciting. You don't know quite what you're going to dive into.
Exactly.
If you're bored, you got to be here for like 30 years to get bored, to see all of it, and then be like, oh, it's another one of these. I hate these. There's too much going on. So we worked for your brother for, you said, a little over a year.
Yeah.
And then you hopped into the next company, and you were there for about 4 years.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. My brother, we worked for the same company. So this was Ultra Heating and Cooling. So he was also an employee of the company. So me and my brother worked together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
For about a good 2.5 years. And then he transitioned somewhere else, and I still stayed with that company for about another 1.5 years.
Okay, cool.
So even though he moved on, we didn't stay consistent in our arenas. You know, he went to go work for somebody else, and I eventually. It's funny because my brother went to go work for him, and then I followed after him the following year, just because the progress, the growth, and
you got that network to tap into,
absolutely,
and you're like, it's doing what over there?
Yeah,
get me over there, man.
Yeah,
let me jump in with you.
And I'll tell you what, I never left a facility on bad terms. Anytime I left any employer, I would always put in my 2 weeks, just let them know.
Never burn a bridge.
Never. To this day, I still talk to Pilot. I talked to him yesterday.
Especially in this community.
Yeah,
like,
it's a small
big,
community, but it's small.
But once you get into it, you start realizing you run into the same people all over the city, and you're just like, I can't get away from these guys. So don't ever burn that bridge,
and
man.
Your reputation precedes you most. Just like I spoke highly of French, and 99% of the people who come across him will speak highly of him. That's his reputation. That's who he is. He's a coach. He's a teacher.
I'd imagine he'd speak the same of you, though.
Yeah. I actually spoke to him yesterday too. So it's
nice.
Hey man, I'm running into this, water source heat pump. What do you, just stuff that I don't really see.
Yeah.
Or I'm starting to see, and I'm just like, hey, you know what, boss? I would recommend it probably go to you. I'm going to refer it to you.
Okay.
It's just like little things like that. So I still have these network connections. I still am connected with these guys. If I see them, I give them hugs. That's just how we are, man.
That's how it needs to be.
That's how it needs to be.
That's blue collar at its finest right there.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
And there should never be any bad blood. But when I did transition, of course, I let that employer know, hey, man, nothing against you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. You guys always took care of me. You guys never did me wrong. And I'm just putting in my 2 weeks, man. I'm just moving on. It's time to move on. It's the end of an era. It's an end of a season.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's just part
Open
of the
communication.
career.
Absolutely.
That's just part of how HVAC works. Sometimes you hit a ceiling. Sometimes someone gets hired on and you're just like, okay, the dynamics changed. I don't like this company anymore. Sometimes they just can't afford to pay you what you know you're worth.
There you go.
I imagine when you're in there and you're just like, hey, no bad blood.
Yeah.
You're saying you're thankful. You guys taught me a lot, but at the same time, you can't afford me anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to nicely just say.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You already knew.
That's what I assumed. If you've been at a place you love that much and you're still trying to leave, it's because you've hit your ceiling, because you know your worth, which is absolutely amazing. The fact that you knew your worth and you knew it was time to pivot. Otherwise, you get stuck. You're complacent.
Yeah.
Now you're going to start hating what you do because it's not going where you want it to. The excitement gone. The life of it is being drained because you're just stuck in your box. But that's a beautiful thing about blue collar is that the box is a lot bigger than you think.
Yeah.
You're in a small box inside of a bigger box.
Exactly.
Get out of that small box.
Yeah.
Go look for another bigger box and then start investing there to get more money, more time, more experience. So I just imagine that's
definitely.
What you're talking about.
That's exactly what happened, honestly, man. And
good for you, man.
And then I go on and transition. I work for this other gentleman, for an entire year, and we had to sit down, and it was a brief sit down. It was like, hey, you know what I'm capable of? You know what I can do for your company? I treat it like it was my own.
Resume speaks for itself.
That's it.
Let's talk money.
And he already knew of me because of my brother. He knew we were two top producers.
Man, so it wasn't a cold exchange at all.
No, not at all. He's telling my brother, dude, I need to get your brother on my squad. I need to get him on my squad.
He was over here waiting to poach you anyway.
Exactly.
Not that that's how it happened, but doesn't mean he wasn't trying.
One day I called him and I was like, "What's up, man? You taking care of my brother over there, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Everything, blah, blah, blah. We're small. Let's link up. Let's have lunch.
Politicking a little bit.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You got to politic,
it's all
bro.
part of it.
Exactly. I said I went for lunch and we talk as men, and it's just like, cool, man. What you got going on this summer, man? It's right around the corner. It's February, like, just let me know. Let me know what you want to do, what you can give me, what you can provide for me. I'm a go-getter. I'm hungry. I like to run 10, 12, 14 service calls a day. That's just the way I run.
That's how it should be, honestly. You really want to make that money.
Exactly.
This is what it takes.
Exactly. So he's like, we'll see, man. Give me about a month. Let me see what I can do. And then that was it. He called me back and was like, this is what I can. I was like, that's everything. I didn't even need to ask you. If you agree to that, I like it.
Oh, man. When the first offer comes in and it's like, sweet.
Yeah.
I was ready to haggle, man. I was really ready to negotiate.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted. I'll take it.
That's it, man. That's our entire industry, and when you, as an employer, know the value of your technicians and what they're capable of, what they can do, it's just like, man,
those are the companies that boom.
Yeah.
You're not just chasing the money. You're taking care of your team. You're making sure that they're... with this industry, it's tough to have a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
But we can still do the best we can to take care of our guys that are out there driving this company. Those technicians out there that are doing 12 to 14 calls, working 16, 18-hour days.
Yeah.
Non-stop, sometimes 7 days for 5-6 months to get through the heat season. You got to take care of those guys, or they're going to leave you. Your company's going to start hurting. Your business, you're going to just hire whatever you can get.
Customers see it, disgruntled employees. You know?
Now you're not paying enough to get skill that isn't what you need.
Exactly.
But you got to get someone in these vans, and it's just a bad curve to follow right there. So
Absolutely.
Seems like you did the exact opposite.
Yeah, no, man. I knew what I wanted, and I knew my value. Right, top producer. Just a working man. And then just going into that arena with him, I immediately let him know. I said, "Hey, I want to let you know that this is probably going to last for about a year, and then I'm moving on." He's like, "What do you have in mind?" I was like, "I'm doing my own thing, and I know that." And he's like, "I respect that."
So you were to the point like, I want my own.
Yeah, I told him, "You got me for about a year."
And you came and told your boss, by the way, I'm about to be competition.
Yeah, not like that. Not like that.
No, I'm playing.
I know what you're saying.
Just a funny twist, but just to say,
come summer, there's no competition.
There's too much for everybody. Yeah.
There's not enough of us in the
I'm not going to steal your customers. I'm going to go get some of my own.
Exactly, bro. Yeah. This 10, that's the thing, and I do want to say this. Come summertime, there's not enough of us, bro. There's not. I'm booked out 2, 3, 4 days, and I hate that. I hate the fact that I have to book customers out more than 72 hours because they freak out. I want to get to every customer within 24 hours.
Especially no cools out here.
Exactly.
3 days of suffering? No one wants that, man.
Dude, I have taken on calls where somebody will call our company, and they're like, this company said, and it's Monday, this company said they can't get to us till Friday or Saturday. And I'm like, are you dead serious? I'll tell you what, I can squeeze you in. I'll be there tomorrow if you want to move and pick us. And I am not kidding you, man. All of us are like that in the summertime. We're all eating for 6 months straight. Yeah. If we got a hot summer, there's work for everybody. There's not even any competition at that point.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had last year, I would even give work to my old employers. I'd be like, hey, man, you want to take this on? If you want it, it's yours. Brand new, I'm talking brand new install, brand new splits, brand new sales. I don't have time for this, bro. And I just give it to them because I show an appreciation for them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
we can compete and still share love, man.
Exactly.
We don't have to be at each other's necks just to have some healthy competition.
And I never forget who wrote off on my license. My 2 previous employers.
Oh.
I went to them in love. Hey, bro, you know it's time. You know this was coming. You got me? I got you, bro.
And they backed you up.
Both of them.
Oh, that's such a great story right there.
Both of them. I didn't need to go beat around the bush, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you do it right, you do it right. Your employer takes care of you. You take care of your employer.
That's how it should be.
No bad blood. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're going to find out they weren't as good as you thought they were whenever it's your turn and they're suddenly not treating you right.
Because believe me, I reached out to somebody and he blatantly said no. And I was like, oh, man, it's like that? And sometimes it's like that. And then the true reflection of their character starts to pawn and starts to show.
Well, if they know how good you are, they might see you as a problem instead of, the community got to feed itself. It's growing.
It's growing.
8% growth is huge for this industry. So as you're saying, you don't have enough and it's still creating room for more.
Yeah.
Everybody can get a slice. Not everybody can be ghetto.
Exactly. We're small time. Everybody that I work for, and I tell them, like, bro, we're pennies compared to these multi-million-dollar
even if you're not in the top 5, doesn't mean you're not making good money.
But
and it just shows
we're all making good money come summer,
exactly. So
all of us.
Top 5 is a list for those big, major, 1 hour. We got Ghetto, we got Sierra.
Yeah, I can't say no names, but yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. But there's those massive companies that are conglomerates. Multiple companies come together. $10 million
a year in closures.
Ridiculous.
I'm sorry, a month.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a month. Come summer, I know some of these.
$10 million a year. That's what salesmen make sometimes. So they're making hundreds of millions to be able to pay a salesman $2-3 million for sales. So $10 million. Yeah, that sounded a little short for a month.
Their comfort advisors are doing very well. They are.
That's what they call them, comfort advisors?
Comfort advisors.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Closers.
Their closers are comfort advisors.
Comfort advisors.
What a nice twist.
Beautiful.
That's well put, honestly. Kudos to them. That's some good verbiage.
Yeah, if you are a trained and certified, and I'm not a salesman, I'm a working man. I'm a repairman,
Oh yeah, there's two sides of the house.
I'm a blue collar worker.
You're
My
a
hands
talker
are dirty.
seller,
exactly,
or you're a hands-on doer.
Yeah,
very few can do both.
Exactly. And I am no salesman, but if you are a salesman, I would encourage you. This industry is booming, and if you know how to communicate with people and get them to close right there on the spot, and I know some natural salesmen. I've dealt with them. I've talked to them. I know how to counteract, and man, there's people out there that can read you, and they can use that and then just get you to close a phenomenal deal. And if you're trained in that, this is the industry to be in.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Bring in those new skills. You don't even have to get dirty. You're just going to sit in someone's living room, sip some tea and coffee, talk for, sometimes 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
But when you slam that cell after 3.5 hours, that's worth it all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely a different side of the industry that we definitely don't focus on it at our school. We are the technician side.
Absolutely.
Encourage you to go do the sales if you want. Understanding the equipment can be better for sales because then you can actually articulate the real problem. Exactly. Or you're the salesman that's just like, oh yeah, your flux capacitor's gone and they just don't make flux capacitors anymore. I'm sorry.
Your motor starter, my guy, the motor starter's broken, bro.
Yeah, it's all out of blinker fluid. Yeah. It's all burned up. I'm sorry.
Oh man, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. I didn't witness this, but I had a senior technician tell me one time he had a closer come in, and he was watching the closer, and he pulls out his meter, right, his multimeter, and he turns on the NCV, non-contact voltage, right, and he puts it up to the unit, and it's beeping. It's going beep, 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 and he tells the customer, "Yeah, it's broken. You need a new one." I'm like, "What? Don't tell me that, bro." No, you did not. It's just a funny story in our industry, of course. He's like, no, I witnessed this closer come in. And the guy don't even know how to use a multimeter. He just put it on NCV, literally butted it up to the condenser and said, yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I had to share that. I got to share that story.
There was power, and he said it's broken.
Yeah, bro, I just had to share that story, man. We hear a lot in our industry, and it's just like, are you serious? What?
It's one of those things, I just can't make it up.
I can't. I can't, bro.
If I made that up, I'd be like, no one would ever do that, and I wouldn't be able to use that as an example.
He did.
But
this guy did.
Physically,
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't have.
I didn't see this.
It was passed down.
I heard this from a senior technician when he was a younger tech. Right. This is about 15 years ago, where the closer comes in and he just, oh yeah, it's broken. You need a new. I'm sorry. I had to share that story too, bro.
No,
I've seen things.
That's wild. This is a note of things of what not to do. People ask you to come to their houses. They give you implied trust.
Yeah, exactly.
They assume that trust is, and they want it reciprocated. They also assume it's reciprocated, and it's not always, unfortunately. Yeah. But we come in as subject matter experts. You called a professional because you wanted a professional opinion, and then they come in, and you don't know anything, so they're going to be like, "Hey, watch this. Hold my beer and watch this." Like, what do you? Oh.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
I know, bro. When I heard that, I was like, he's like, that's why I don't like him. That's why I'm a repair guy. And I'm teaching you how to repair. Because of the stuff I've seen, I don't want you doing.
And not all salesmen are this way. I want to have that caveat.
They're not.
Salesmen get a lot of dirty names, right? Just like we do, knuckle draggers and everything. So there's definitely
parts changer. You're just a parts changer.
You're just a swapper. Monkey see, monkey do. Exactly. Like, okay, whatever. I can tell you why it's the right part to switch in the first place, and that means I'm not monkey see, monkey do. Right? But to get out here, I know several salesmen that they kind of do a little bit of both. You can make good commissions as a tech because I found a bad compressor. Beautiful commission. Beautiful. Oh, they just want to upgrade to a new unit because it was already 15 years old, and price-wise, the investment is better.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. You're giving them the option. I can fix it for $3,500, or you can bump up to $6,000 or $7,000, and I know it's a little bit extra, but the longevity of your investment is what you're selling, and that is a great approach.
Itself. Especially in most recent years. I mean, even the government was giving tax incentives to higher SEER systems, back in 2023, 2024, ended in 2025. And that was just an encouragement as well. Hey, present this to your tax preparer, your CPA. You're going to get a tax credit up to $2,200. You might buy this system from us for $13,000, but in reality, it's really $10,800 because you're going to get your money back. So even the government is assisting us, even in our industry at times, to incentivize customers to close units for us because the government is even pushing higher efficiency systems.
Yeah, which is actually it's not always best for the customer, but in a lot of ways it is.
Yeah.
If that's a R22 system and you're bumping up into a C or 2,
Exactly.
the money you're saving from what the government is doing for you, and then you've got the efficiency, so you're spending less on that expensive Nevada energy electricity to keep it going, and then it works better because it's efficient, so that means it doesn't have to run as
quieter.
long, and it's quiet, like so many good things to add to a morally strong sale.
Exactly. And that's the right way to do it. That's the proper way to do it. Giving the customer options, showing them the benefit of the long run of investing in a new system, right? I always pull out my legal pad and I say, hey, if you're going to save how much is your power bill, right, in the summer? They say $500, right? Okay, if you upgrade the system, your power bill will decrease anywhere between 25 to 35% on average, right? So I do the calculator. I tell them, look, every month for the next 6-7 months, you're going to be saving anywhere between $600 to $1,000 just on your power consumption, right? You're getting this tax credit. This unit will pay for itself in about 8 years, anywhere between 6.5 to 9 years, right? And I'm a numbers guy.
20.
It's going to last 20. It's a lot quieter. The likelihood of it breaking down is a lot less likely compared to this 20-year-old system.
For sure.
Right? So I sit there and I give them the option, whether they want to repair, which I'm okay with, or do you want to upgrade? I'm okay with both. Whatever you want to do. So
I think that's the best approach.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Put it in the homeowner's hands. Give them all of the good information, and then let them make an educated decision on what they want to do. And then they're going to call you back.
Yep, and they always do. Unless it's a brand new system and there's nothing wrong. What they do is typically they refer me. They refer me to their friends, their family, their coworkers, and that's the best.
And then maybe you get some maintenance contracts, come out, summarize, winterize a unit, get them prepared for the next season. So lots of perks. And then, oh, that's great.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as you're going, we kind of we went off on a tangent.
Yeah,
no, I love it. I love it. It's great information. Your perspective of being in the field, things you've seen, things you've done, really cool stories. I absolutely love that. But to circle back just a little bit, as you're going through these different companies up into that last company where you went in and served your boss some papers. I'm just kidding. That's a funny way to say it. But you come in and say, hey, it's my time for the piece of the pie. I've seen you at the school through the years, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have.
Several times a year.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually know what you were here for or what you were doing, but why does this guy keep showing up every once in a while? And he goes in the boss's office, they close the door, they're talking for an hour and a half, and then the guy just leaves.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, previous student came back to talk to me. And I'm just like, not a lot of people do that. So on the radar.
Yeah.
And then you came in a couple of weeks ago. So what was the purpose? What was your drive to, you always have once a student, always a student to come back for learning, but I haven't scheduled with you to get back into a class. So that's not how you were using once a student, always a student. Yeah. So what were you doing? What was your focus to come back?
I would, initially when I graduated, I made it a goal to come say hi to Pete and, just shake his hand, show him how it's progressing. Even just, hey man, I did my first TXV. Hey, I did my first dual shaft blower motor. It was a pain in the butt. Dude, I was on this roof, changing out this two-story compressor. Oh my gosh, we were up there for 4 hours. Mind you, this was back in 2019, a little bit post-COVID, 2021. Unfortunately, he passed away. What was it, 22?
Yeah.
About
shout
Christmas.
out to Pete Grimmett. What a legend. He actually taught both of us at different times. Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah, he was a great guy, old school cat. I mean, this guy literally, I remember looking at his forefingers. And mind you, this was back in the day when, the frostbite would get you. And all the senior technicians, you old school cats, you guys still got the refrigerant burns on your fingers. And
you could look at their hands and just know, oh, you've been at it.
Oh, yeah. You were definitely in the trade. You were a tradesman for sure.
For a while.
Absolutely. There's just something about knowing and looking at a man's hands in our industry that they were a working man. And I spotted that right away with Pete, and I was like, why are his fingers like that? Now I know as a senior technician that I know now why. Yeah. The engaging, the disengaging, even the little things. I remember he had a limit. It was a high temp limit for a furnace, old school, and it was like a 225 if I recall. And he pulled it out. You guys know what this is? And we're in the middle class, right? And he and he was a smoker. That's what I loved about him. He smoked. You know, he's an old school cat, right? Old school
traditional cat.
Yeah. So he pulls out his lighter and he's like, "This is what it does." And then he like hits it with the lighter, and you could hear it pop. He's like, "Listen, guys, listen."
Tink.
Beep. And I'm just like, "What is that?" You know, like I'm so green, I don't even know what that is. You know, but everything I know now, it's just he's like, when this cools down, it's gonna close back up. And then it's going to get the system going again. And I'm just like, I don't know what he's talking about, but one day I will. You know, and I remember Pete was not just an instructor. He was an actual service technician. And I know this for a fact because I remember he hauled a 2-story ladder to the back room where all the units are now, all the new technology and stuff. And I seen him throw up that ladder. He like nothing. He just had it over his shoulder and he was walking. He just threw it up. And he got up on that roof. I was like, "Pete, what are you doing?" He's like, "The swamp cooler went out. I'm here to fix it." And I was like,
swamp cooler.
I was like, bro, "Oh, you're not just a teacher. Like you a real technician." He's like, "That's what I did and that's what I do and this is who I am." And I was like,
he was instructor and facilities maintenance at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is another great part about having a trade school that's trades top to bottom. There's a lot of stuff we need to get done. We just start talking to our instructors. We talk to the rest of the team and see who's got the time available, make some schedule changes, and then we can just do it all ourselves most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the great thing about that. But yeah, shout out to Pete, man. But sorry, your initial question. We're going back.
Yeah, so you're coming back into the school to meet with Lonnie.
Yes, to meet with Lonnie. So it started off with Pete. Come shake Lonnie's hand. As I'm progressing as a technician, right? I'm learning the trade. I'm starting to master residential. You know, I'm tapping in. That's when I start making my way into Lonnie's office. You know, I know Lonnie Lonnie is a business-minded man, and I knew that. I would see that, right?
Entrepreneur, for
He's
sure.
an entrepreneur at the heart of it, and I would see that. And I just loved, and I always respected Lonnie. Same thing. When he was installing mini splits, and I remember he would haul the condenser over, and they were installing mini splits, I want to say in 21 or 22. And I'm like, this guy was a technician too, you know, and he would tell me, just give me pointers, be careful, Gabriel, compressors, don't throw your back out, don't throw your arms out. When you get my age, you know, you're gonna dread it, you're gonna hate it. Make sure you use safety, 3 points of contact. He was the one who actually told me to use a crane on roof compressors. He's like, you know what, if I were you, utilize the crane. And I did. I took his, you know, wisdom into consideration, and from this point on, this is what I do. But anyways, I would come in, and I would sit on his couch, and I just kind of pick his brain. "Hey, Lonnie, what's going on? What's new, man? What you got?" And I would see him progress as well as I'm progressing, right? And I would just ask him just business-minded questions. "What do you think of this?" You know, and he would come out, and he would just give me pointers at the end of the day, just kind of picking his brain and picking his mind. Yeah, I mean, there's a philosophy. I don't know who said this, but I did hear this one time. It says, "A wise man learns from his mistakes, but a wiser man learns from others' mistakes." So I always made it a goal and an objective to try to pick the minds of people of, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or if you could redo it, how would you do it, in a sense like that? And then even this last time, I go and I sit down with Lonnie, and I was like, "Bro, you're booming. You're progressing. You got the electrical, you got the plumbing, you know, you got this. This is what's going on." And he said, "I have a mentor too, and you just missed him. He literally just left. He's on his private jet out the door." And he's like, "I would have really wanted you to shake this man's hand." And I was like, "Shucks."
You're going to have to come back and meet Chris.
Yeah, it's funny because,
100%.
absolutely, it's funny because I was like, that damn hot dog at ARS, I knew I shouldn't have ate that. That's what held me up, you know? And Lonnie's just laughing. I was like, I shouldn't have ate that hot dog. It's going to slow me down. And now I just miss Chris. But anyways, I always come in and I pick the minds of those who have pillared before me. That's just what I do. I like to learn from them. I like to be coached. I like to be counseled. I like to see the wisdom from other men, right? I reach out to my old employers. "Hey, man, what would you do in this situation?" Not all the time.
Utilize that network.
Absolutely. You know, "Hey, if I were to do this, if I were to buy this, would it incentivize the company? Can I write it off?" You know, like, I don't know, right? So I pick their brains. They've been doing this a lot longer than I have. You know,
some mistakes can be learned before they're made.
Exactly.
And if you watch a guy make a mistake and you're like, "Oh man, that's not so great."
Yeah.
I bet that's a lesson that's going to be in your mental library because you were a part of it. You got to see it. So some of that vital information, get it early.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I'm telling you, if you do this is what's going to happen. And then some of those young guns, "Oh, I bet I could do it differently. If I do it, that wouldn't happen."
Yep.
You really think so? This guy's been at it for decades, and you as a greenhorn are out here like, nah, I got this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Just listen to that guy.
Exactly. You have to. You have to, man. You got to still, to this day, even as a business owner operator, right? I'm still teachable and I'm still coachable. I tell we have a technician, and I tell them just like this: if you think of a way that would benefit the whole team as a whole, to even get you home faster to your wife and kids, let me know. Let me know. Call me. Tell me, hey, I think if we can do it like this, I'm always here to hear you out. Because you know better than I do in your current situation. That's what I say.
Well, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And that's a rare thing to find. You don't always find someone that is like that, especially leadership.
Yeah.
You get the newer guys in here, and they just, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I don't care for anything you've got to say because you don't even know what you're talking about. But they might have a perspective that actually, it might not be their idea that they pitched, but it might be the groundwork for something even better. And if you didn't listen, someone else is going to do it.
Absolutely.
They're going to go make that new tool. They're going to go have that new technique. They're going to go have something that's valuable. And if you don't take advantage of it, someone else will.
Exactly. And our industry is always evolving. It's always evolving. We have dispatch software now that has AI initiatives that you tap into. You know, you have the marketing suites, you have this, you have that, and this is stuff I didn't have when I first started.
Stuff like what we're doing right now.
Exactly. Podcasts. I had nobody to coach. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's an HVAC diagnostic channel that I would look at, but there was nothing related to this, like podcast-wise. There's a gentleman from Arizona. I forgot his name. I would listen to him once in a while. But, yeah, stuff like this that we're doing today, podcast, man, it would have been a lot more beneficial and fruitful for me, you know, in my early start. And in our modern age, too, we have AI. Like I tell young technicians, hey, take full advantage of it. We live in what's called the information age. There's no reason why you shouldn't know what's going on in this system at all. If you're at that unit diagnosing longer than 15 minutes, there's a problem, and it's you. Like, honestly,
a lot of the time.
Honestly.
If you've been 15 minutes in and you don't have a direction to start focusing on, what have you been doing with that 15 minutes?
Exactly.
Because apparently it's the wrong direction.
Yeah, you know, you have to think and just utilize the best tool we have is right here, our mind, our brain, troubleshooting, critical thinking, utilizing that as a whole. But yeah, man, our industry is always evolving. You know, the A2L coming out last year, we got the 454B, we got the R32. I'm a Goodman dealer, so we've been installing nothing but R32 equipment.
Yeah, Goodman specific.
Yeah, we have not had any issues. No premature failures on compressors, no premature failures on TXVs, which I'm hearing, you know, can and will happen across the industry, especially with such new refrigerant, such
gotta work
new
all the bumps
kinks
out.
and all that out, man. And knock on wood, we haven't had any issues, but I ensure that everything is done properly. I'm the first one there. I'm the last one to leave. You know, and
that's fantastic.
Yeah, you have to have that mindset. You have to have that thinking process, right? Show up early, leave late if you need to.
And it seems like you've had it since the get-go.
Yeah.
Once you decided HVAC was it.
That was it. There's no more. There's no plan C. This is plan B, and that's it. I'm going all in.
Took your shoes off and jumped right in the deep end. He said, it's all or nothing,
it's
fellas.
That's it, pretty much. It's funny because my dad used to say that. He's like, I don't care what you become in life. Don't do it half-assed. Do it with your entire heart. That's what he would say.
Yep.
He's like, I don't care what you do in life.
Yeah, we got a buddy of mine, and one of our sayings is full send or no send.
There you go. That's the new one, full send.
If you're not going to do it, then just don't.
Don't do it.
But if you're going to do it, you put everything you've got into that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I actually have a testimony, man. Actually, on the way over here, I stopped at a 7-Eleven, picked up a coffee, and literally for an hour if I showed up, the teller there, hey, man, can I ask you a question? Yeah, absolutely. What's going on? What do you do? I said, I do air conditioning and heating. I'm an HVAC contractor. How do I get involved in that? You know what I said? Inquire and look into trade school. You know the name I said? I said Quality Technical. And you know what he said? I know of that school. I seen it on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, what? No, it's for real. This is true story, bro.
I love it.
And he's like, is that where you went? I said, I went. I said, it's funny, bro, that I'm bringing this up because I'm on my way to do an interview right now with them on one of their very first broadcasts, you know, and it's going to be public. It's going to be YouTube. That's awesome, man. How long ago did you do this? And I said, I did this about 7-8 years ago. Is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. There's good days. There's bad days.
For sure.
You know, it's hard days. But you choose. This is what I said. I said, you as a man, you decide to choose your hard. That's exactly what I said. And I left it. He's like, thank you. I'll give him a call and I'll look into it.
Oh,
So it's like, hey,
thank you for that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Great to hear that Instagram is doing what we wanted to do and building that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great for you to dime us out and drop that name once again. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, I had to.
And then
share it.
Just that little interaction. They might be watching this in a couple of weeks and be like, oh, that's that guy I saw.
Yeah.
He said to go.
Yeah.
This is that school.
Uh-huh.
This might be exactly what that person needs. And that's why I love that we're doing this kind of stuff and have someone just like you to come in here, share your story, talk about your success. I know we kind of went off the school a little bit, but I feel like for someone like you in here, we need to show the long term.
Yeah,
we need to show students like, after graduate, you get a job and it pays well. You're not done yet. You are literally just past just getting started. You went in the door, you're in the lobby, you're about to get your own room at this point, but you still got to do the work. So to have you in here, have you share your success stories, your methodology of your mindset and how you've driven into this industry to really make your own piece of the pie completely custom to the way you see things, the way you've been taught, the way you want it done, top to bottom. And I think it's really important for these individuals that are watching to hear the full story. Like, this isn't just graduate, get a job, and you're happy. Here is a gentleman that did it almost a decade ago, 8-ish years ago. Yeah. And look at where you're at now. Absolutely. And I think that's such a valuable thing. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing it. But for these guys to be able to see someone like you that full send or no send,
full send,
you
all in,
jumped
brother.
in and you just made it happen. And now you've got your own company, Lighthouse Heating and Cooling. Yeah. That's freaking amazing, man. I absolutely love that.
Absolutely.
So now that we've kind of got the full story, right? You've got your own company. You've been in and out of the school for years, using it not only as I need more training, but I need business training. And a shout out, Lonnie Snowden. He's been a huge mentor for me. He's been the reason why I've grown a lot. He's helped me so much with my own personal confidence and my career itself. But he's got the school. He had 2 HVAC companies. He's got a motorcycle parts company called KLR Dash. Oh, wow. So as an entrepreneur, as a tradesman, as the guy that owns and operates the school, huge shout out to him because he's got just a huge wealth of knowledge that you've been able to tap into and use for your own benefit. He already did it. He doesn't see you as competition. No one at the school sees anybody as competition. We want you to go out and start your own company and flourish and make that money, change your life. That's what our focus is. So just amazing to see someone right here in front of me that got a chance to use these resources and network, took every bit of chance you could, and man, look at you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication,
All paying off.
All paying off. A lot of weekends work, Saturdays, Sundays, whatever it took, to get the job done. I mean, I'll tell you what really caught my attention. My brother, actually, I closed the unit one day, and the customer said, I will only buy this from you if you install it tonight. Mind you, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I had 3 more service calls. So I called my brother. I was like, hey, bro, let's do this. Let's split my commission. You want to knock this out? He's like, yeah, let's do it. We show up at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. We're at that house till 2 in the morning. And mind you, the customer's awake the entire time. He's just watching TV. He's watching us.
I hope so. You kind of asked for this.
Yeah, he wanted it done. He's like, the price you just gave me, if I agree, you're doing it tonight. And I was like, give me like 10 minutes. Let's see what we can do, right? But just seeing the dedication of a fellow craftsman willing to put in those hours, and be there at that customer's house till 2 in the morning. It was just like, this is what I want to do. Like, I love this. I'm learning. At the time, I didn't know this, but I said, I am learning to love this. And now I do. I love it, bro. I enjoy it. I wake up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm slower than when I first started 8 years ago, but I'm hungry. Like, I wake up and I'm just like, let's go get it. Like, and it's very fulfilling as a man working with your hands, right? There's a saying, right? It's dirty hands, clean money. Right. So I come from a culture and a history where it's like some of my family members acquired money, through illegal means or whatever. We're not going to talk about that. But I come home and I lay my head down at night and I know I did a good job and I provided a necessary service for people, and it's necessary in our city.
And you did it the right way.
We do it the right way.
Yeah.
And it's so fulfilling. And I sleep good at night, bro. My wife's like, how do you go to sleep so quick? I'm just I sleep good, baby.
I
I'm
work
happy.
hard, so I'm tired, and I got nothing weighing me down.
Exactly.
So we just click out.
Yeah. She's like, you fall asleep in like 20, 30 seconds. I'm just like, that's what I worked hard for.
Yeah. I mean, working that hard makes you tired already. And then if you don't have that stress keeping you up at night, then, man,
exactly.
You just need a nice pillow and a blanket.
That's it, brother. That's it, man. So, yeah, it's been so fruitful. Our industry, it's very fruitful. It's beneficial. It's got us into, arenas in life that, especially right now in our economy, economy is rough for a lot of people, gas prices and just cost of living in general. This is the industry where if you want to see yourself level up or, take your family to that next level, this is the place and the arena to do so, and if you do it, like he said, full send, Aaron said full send, man, just go all the way in, give it your all, work the hours, be teachable, be coachable. Yeah. So just had to say that.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of people need to hear. Yeah. They're hesitant. They don't, well, that's a lot of money to spend. And it definitely is. That's a big chunk, Yeah. Am I going to be successful? If I really put all my time and effort into this, what am I going to get out of it? And we're human. I hope that you are considering these things, but I also hope that they're not slowing you down.
Yeah.
Don't let it be the thing that drags your sails. Let it be the wind, and then just go do it. And as long as you're willing to put in the time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears to get it done, then blue collar pays back.
Absolutely.
As long as you're doing a good job the right way, and you're putting in the effort, anybody that's actually full send it, unless they just were doing it wrong, I've talked to later, and they've compounded.
Yeah.
Exponentially better.
Exponentially. There you go.
And 2 years is really all it takes, in my opinion. I've seen so many people take even less than 2 years to hit some very amazing goals.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and what if you were still at home thinking about it?
Exactly.
What if you were still hesitant? What if you were still scared? But hopefully hearing your story, unique background, some things, lots of twists and turns. I want my career, and that career got slammed shut after you already paid for it. Then you go out and you get another curveball trying to get into the industry, and that wasn't what you expected. But every time you've just adjust and adapt, and man, just look at you.
Absolutely.
Doing so great. And you said you talk about slowing down after you've been at it for 8 years, but it's your company.
Yeah.
I hope you slow down. I hope you get someone to pay to take over the hard parts.
It's just the aging process.
We can't get away from that.
Man, in my 20s, I remember nitrogen jug over my shoulder running in the backyard. It's like, oh, and then now it's like, no, I'm not running no more.
No.
It's just,
oh, man.
age.
I got 12 hours left in the day. We're walking.
Exactly. I'm going to pace myself.
Yeah. Don't overdo
that's
it.
age in general.
But that's the beauty of having your own business is eventually you work into paying someone to do the hard stuff, and then mailbox money.
Absolutely.
You keep running it. You send me this paycheck every month, and you just keep running it, and I'll pay you X amount, and everybody's going to be happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
that's
the checks, they do come, brother. They come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With this heat season that we get, oh, my gosh. If you're doing it right, that's capitalism right there.
Absolutely, man. It's
supply and demand, and the demand, thanks to the desert, is plentiful.
Absolutely. I have to say one more thing, just one more thing. Okay. I got to give credit, of course, to God. If it wasn't for God, right, and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I honestly would not be in this situation today. From the very beginning, bro. I'm talking about from me being as an adult. So I just have to say that. I hope you guys don't edit that out.
Oh, no.
But he gets the glory.
No,
bro.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
If that's how you feel, then absolutely. I'm sure there's plenty of listeners that think the same thing.
Yeah.
Or need to hear the same message.
Yeah.
It's always if you ever want to say a joke to God, tell him your plan.
Ooh, there you go.
Tell them your plan. And
I remember
you had your plan in the beginning.
God, I'm trying to be a cop. No, that's not for you, son. That's not for you, son.
Like, you can keep trying, but it's not going to happen.
That's not for you. Exactly. No, you're right, bro. You're right.
Here you are. You are.
Yeah.
All in your own hard work and faith. And,
absolutely.
And no, I think that's a very important aspect. Not everybody might see the same way, but that's why it's so important to have different people in here with different backgrounds, different goals, different everything, So absolutely, if that's one of your messages, I'm very thankful you shared it.
Thank
absolutely.
You. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir.
So we kind of got your full story.
Yeah.
All the way up to where you are now,
Yeah.
running Lighthouse. Still out there, owner-operator. I ran into you a couple weeks ago because you still come in and see Lonnie, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
With that bigger picture, I'm going to ask you a couple curveballs here. So if you need to think, take the time, all right? Because some people can just fire off and they're like, oh, man, you just take time, all right?
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's go back to Gabriel right after college when that door got slammed in your face and they said, no.
Yeah.
Right? Having to pick a new career and eventually getting to HVAC.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to our listeners if they are in a similar situation at home and you're just like, if there's a little tidbit, a little sweet something that you could just drop in their lap, like, I think you need to hear this because I needed to hear this.
Yeah.
Do you have something that you give them?
Absolutely. I got a few things I got to say.
Oh, drop them all.
So first and foremost, do your research. Always do your research. Like I said, we live in an information age. If you're interested in any topic, any subject, any type of career path, look into it before you dive into it. Don't be like me, go get your degree. And this is any field or any arena. And I speak for this as a whole. So first and foremost, do your research. Look at the progression of what it looks like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So, for example, our industry, we have a lot of HVAC technicians starting to wash out, and we don't have young people coming in, or at least wanting or willing to come in, and I know that.
Huge gap being created.
Huge. For every 5 guys that are washing out next year, only 2 are coming in. Only 2, and I know that statistically. I actually just informed myself a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was reading about it not too long ago, too, and that's 5 out, 2 in is horrible.
It is. It is. We don't have this young generation coming in doing what we do. But I would say if you are thinking, and it doesn't have to be HVAC. It doesn't have to be the trades. It could be anything. If you're listening to this right now, just look into what you could potentially want to do and just give it your all. Make sure it's going to be there because AI right now is taking over a lot of jobs, right? AI is not taking over the trades. It's not taking my job.
Not for a long time.
Not for, I don't see any robots.
Not for a long time.
Right? I see the robots coming out, right? But I don't see a robot fixing a dual shaft blower motor or sweating out a TXV in a hot attic. I don't see that happening. So
yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah, it's probably going to overheat before it even does anything. Yeah.
And to piggyback just a little bit, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
So do your research and find out early. I would love for you guys to come to our school. I'd love for you to meet the staff and be a part of our alumni and get the whole experience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're doing your research and this isn't for you, I would like for everybody to do what they're meant to do.
Absolutely.
And if this isn't it, I hope you go be successful in a different way after doing your research.
Yeah.
Go do some tours, do some online work, look into the industry itself, but also look into the schools and see the whole package of what you're about to get into.
Yeah, and I agree with Aaron entirely. I mean, I've had quite a few apprentice technicians over the years, and I remember one specifically, he was really heavy on himself over going through trade school and realizing it wasn't for him. And I remember pulling over. I was in a service truck, and he was like almost crying. And I was a little tough on him. I'm not gonna lie. He was a young man. He was 23 years old, and I'm just that tough guy. I'm very assertive. I'm very direct. I'll tell you how it is. And I remember pulling over, and I said, "Listen, bro." And I got really soft and gentle with him. I got very compassionate. I said, "Listen, I know you've invested your time. I know you've done all these things. This is what your mom wants for you. What do you want? Because everything you're telling me what your mom wants for you. You are a young man, okay? You're 23 years old. You got your whole life ahead of you. You can figure this out." I said, I started this when I was 28. So even if you don't find your career path until you're 28, 30, 32, that's okay. But if you know deep down in your heart this is not for you, don't waste your time. And don't see it as a loss. And he quit the end of that week.
Yeah, those skills might come in handy later. I don't know how many things I've done because I went down all kinds of different avenues, and then I went to the Navy to try to do a reset because I messed up my resume so horrible. Yeah. And then when I came out here and started doing other things, I never realized how many of those skills I got doing things I thought was a waste of time is now very, very important. I mean, even for this, I've got a history in musical theater, and I never thought I'd going to be on camera for anything.
Yeah.
But I'm just so comfortable talking to people that never knew I was going to actually be able to use those kind of skills. So even if it's not what you're really going to do in the long run, don't discredit your education. Any information you've gathered, any skill you've picked up might not go the direction you wanted, just like your college degree, but it doesn't mean it's a waste of time and it's for nothing. So
2 things I learned in college: time management and performing well under pressure. I know that for a fact, and that's why I'm really good at what I do.
Definitely things that college can bring in. That pressure.
Deadlines.
Study all of this. We'll have a test tomorrow, and you're like, what all of this? Like, what, can't you give me an area to focus on? That's a whole nother thing.
Essays due at midnight. Okay, well, let me open up my laptop. It's 9:45. I got 2 hours. Boom, deadline, crunch.
The old school college method.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Honestly, and I would get it done. I mean, I wasn't a straight A student, but I mean, at the end of the day, I learned time management. And that I performed very well under pressure. Definitely, absolutely, I would agree. But going back to that story, that young man, I seen him 2 years later. I seen him at a church, a big church.
Oh, cool.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man? I hugged him, dabbed him up. How's everything? What do you got going on? He's looking sharp. He's looking spiffy. He smells good. I'm like, bro, what happened to you? He's like, I'm a car salesman, and I'm killing it. Bro, you found your niche. You found it, bro. I was like, do you love it? He's like, I love it. I love it. I said, bro, you look good. You smell like $1 million, brother. You found what you were designed to do, and you love it. That's what matters.
And you might be the staple that made him pivot. It might have been something else, or you might have been the icing on top. But either way, you were definitely part of it.
That's what he said. He said, "I never forgot the conversation you told me in that truck."
That's so solid.
And I ran with it. That's what he told me.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that speaks a lot for your leadership. You know, you got a guy in your van that you want as a technician, but at the same time, if you need to go, dude.
If you know what this ain't for you, bro, don't waste your time. Yeah. Don't waste my time, because you've been riding with me for 3 weeks. And your mom this and your mom that. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to hear about your mom. Like, are you ready?
Great for her to push you into a trades direction. Not most people like college.
Yeah.
So
and that's good too.
Definitely different. Yeah. But at the same time, one thing I try to tell every student that I get the chance is it's your career.
It is.
Your mom cares. Your dad cares. Your significant other. Your dog. Your auntie. Your best friend. All these people care.
Yeah.
But no one is going to care about your career the way you care. So you have to drive it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, man. That's all I got to say, honestly, for anybody who's thinking about this. But yeah, this, like I said, this is a great opportunity. Our field is constantly growing, and we need these young technicians coming in. You know, just wanting to be hungry, wanting to learn, and the fruit behind it, you know, the compensation behind it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, man. It's very rewarding. I mean, if you want to pay off your house in 5-6 years, you can do that in our industry. You know, you want to be debt-free in the long run, you can do that in our industry, honestly.
My next follow-up question was, why would you tell someone to pick the HVAC career field? But I feel like through this entire hour and 26 minutes, you've already answered that question multiple times. And again, just now. So I was just like, well, there goes that question, because you just nailed it on the head multiple times.
And then you just find to love it, man. Our industry, you just learn to love it, bro. I love it, you know. And I you know what I love now? Is wanting to share it with the next generation, honestly.
We got to feed the community. It doesn't feed itself.
I do. I look forward to teaching the next generation what we know. Absolutely.
That's
we
fantastic.
Need to pass it down.
So one day you're going to come teach for me?
We'll see, man. Also, put me in, coach. Hey, put me in, coach.
You're going to want to slow down eventually, pay someone to run the company, and then come make some more money and teach that new generation, get more of that reward.
Yeah.
Fill Pete's shoes, man.
I might scare them off, bro, honestly. Gabriel's an asshole. No, I'm just kidding. He's so direct. He's so blunt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Some of them need a little bit of that exposure, because when you get in the field, a lot of people don't have time to dance around. It's like, no, I said what I said. Go do it. Like, it's not about your feelings. It's about the facts. So I'm sorry you didn't like to hear it. But it is what it is. Just go do it. Like, you're allowed to complain as long as you're working at the same time. That's my opinion. Like, you can be upset about it. You can voice your opinion as long as you're getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know, that was a big thing I learned in the Navy is if you're told to do something you don't want to do, don't talk about it. do it.
Get it done.
And then talk about it.
There you go.
Because if you talk about it before, it sounds like you're trying to get out of it. It sounds whiny. It sounds complaining. It sounds like you are rebellious. Like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Yeah. But if you do the work and then come back and talk about it, I really didn't want to do that. Can't we do this differently?
Yeah.
Isn't this a better way?
Let's find a better way. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But if you present it first,
yeah,
the perception is opposite.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, this guy just doesn't want to do the work. Dude, I'm done talking.
Yeah.
Do it.
Go get it done.
And then you're going to talk some more. And I was, oh, man, dude, just what?
Yeah.
But if you go do it and it's great and you knocked it out and you come back, can we talk about this real quick? I just did this and this and this, and I could have done this instead. Absolutely. It would have saved so much time. Could probably save money and materials. Can we please talk about this? But the timing of that, and definitely if you complain as you work, what are they going to be mad about? Yeah, he complains a lot, but look at his work.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at it. Yeah, he's not necessarily the happiest guy to be in a 137-degree attic for 12 hours.
You want to reschedule for 5 a.m. tomorrow morning? Let's do it. When it's 110, you want to go at 5? We can compensate for that, bro.
Right. So there's definitely ways around it, but you just got to get out there.
Exactly.
You just got to do it.
There was a lot of things I didn't like to do in our trade. Blower motors, TXVs, and hot-ass attic, bro. I hated it, but it's stuff that needed to get done. I knew I had to go back for a blower motor I didn't have in stock, 3/4, 115, and I'm like, I got to do that blower motor tomorrow.
And then when does it fall in your calls for the day?
Exactly. I call my dispatcher.
Peak hours?
No, I made sure. I always made sure, at least if I'm doing it, I want to go first thing in the morning. I'd call my dispatcher, tell them 6 in the morning.
So if you knew about
6 in the morning,
you're getting ahead of it.
Absolutely.
Get me in there in those hours.
110 degree. I'd rather be in 110 than 137, 145 degree attics, right? So
every single time, if there's an option, I'm taking it for early or late, but not 11 to 3.
Exactly. Or I know a condenser's facing a certain side of the house, and I know I'm going to be in the shade during this X amount of hours. I take all that into consideration: the direction of the sun, where's the condenser
to the home. That's really smart, though.
Absolutely.
It's really smart.
Hey, dispatcher, schedule me my compressor even in the peak, as long as I'm in the sun. That's what I care about. Tell them I'll be there between 2 and 6. I take all that stuff into consideration.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you have to as a tradesman. I'd rather be in the shade.
It benefits you.
Absolutely. I'd rather be in the shade in direct sunlight.
And then you're going to be able to get the job a little better because you're less stressed, you're less taxed physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So you can perform even better. So you're making it easier on yourself. You're making it better for the customer.
Absolutely.
It's looking better on the company. Yeah. Just work it out.
That's it. Get it done.
Awesome.
Got to get it done.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I definitely want to say thank you for your time, Gabriel. It's been a pleasure having you on here, getting your perspective, learning your story from start to finish. Yeah. I've seen you through the years, so this is also my interview to get to know you better because we haven't had much of a sit-down before this, just in passing. So that's been absolutely great, man.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, bro. It was an honor.
As an owner of Lighthouse Heating and Cooling, it's not always easy, especially when you're an operator as well.
It can be tough.
You're doing both, and you still made time to come over here and talk. And
gave you my word, brother.
I'm so thankful.
Gave you my word.
You did, and obviously it can be trusted. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
And you got back to me in such a fast time. I really didn't know when I was going to get you in here because
had to squeeze you
summer's
in,
knocking. Summer's knocking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So thank you again, Gabriel, Lighthouse Heating and Cooling. Madrid. Gabriel Madrid is his name. Thank you so much for coming and sharing everything, giving your experience, giving some tidbits to the listeners, and hopefully some of those stories, hopefully some of your advice will ring true for someone. Everybody's waiting for that one-liner. Yeah. Just like that guy in the van. You pulled over and you dropped a quick short paragraph on him and you changed his entire life. And hopefully we can do the same for some of our future students, future graduates that they see what you're doing and they're like, oh, I want to do what that guy did. Well, it's definitely possible, everybody. It's more than feasible. You just got to take the step. You got to find a school. Hopefully it's ours. You got to find a trade. We got HVAC, refrigeration, we got electrical, we got plumbing and welding in the works to pop out. So even if it isn't exactly what you want right now, still come in, do a tour, see the facility, talk to the staff, get all the information so you can make that educated decision that we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Just like the homeowner. You guys are kind of the homeowners that are trying to pick a route of a career. So you guys need to make educated guesses, educated decisions as best you can. Come in and see us. talk to the staff, see the school, see the facility, and all the hands-on that we can do. And hopefully with these videos and you coming in to see it for yourself, you'll get the same kind of fire that's in Gabriel's eyes right now.
Man.
Hungry for it, wanting to be successful, wanting to make money, taking control of your own life, which you didn't really have total control there for a while, and one door after another, but you didn't let it beat you. You beat it. You kept trying. You kept pushing, and here you are doing absolutely amazing. I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. So thank everybody for listening. I really hope you got something great out of this long podcast we just did. Lots of good information, lots of cool stories. So I hope everybody out there got a little something out of it, and hopefully you get to hear what you need to hear. And if you need to hear more, come on in and talk to us so we can keep this conversation rolling.
There you go.
So thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you once again, Gabriel, for joining me today. Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing everybody else on the next podcast. And until then, we'll see you in the lab.
That's it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Trades Ready with Quality Training Center. If you are interested in getting ready for the trades and looking for the right school for you, go to www.qualitytradecenter.com and schedule a tour. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend interested in the trades and subscribe.